Hey God, this is Raquel. Don't forget to share, subscribe, like. So I noticed that some of individuals are getting a living trust for the purposes of protecting them after they become married. And I want you to be really clear on what exactly is a living trust. So a living trust does not separate you from your creditors. It does not separate you from the IRS. If your assets are worth more than the state exemption for estate taxes, like in New York, if your assets are worth 6.94 and mil and you have a living trust, anything above that you will still pay estate taxes, right? So a living trust is great because it avoids probate, but when it comes to marriage, please know whether you draft a living trust before you get married or after you get married, or if you draft a will before you get married or after you get married, that is completely irrelevant as far as your spouse is concerned, because those are still your assets, right? And so your spouse can still engage in the elective share and still get 30% of your assets regardless of what you put in your living trust or your living will. So if you want to protect yourself as you prepare for marriage, make sure your spouse either sign a prenup or waive his or her right to your premarital assets when it comes to your elective share. Otherwise, it's game over. Okay? So, when you do an irrevocable trust now, then your assets are no longer yours. You're not even a trustee, right? Which is why the trust then pays its own taxes, which is why creditors cannot come after you, which is why no one can come after you because you don't have any asset, right? They were placed in an irrevocable trust, right? And so when you pass away, then your assets that you own will be pretty much non-existent and not subjected to estate taxes because you don't own any assets. They're in the irrevocable trust. So I just wanted to clarify that point because it is really, really important. Okay. Another thing about when it comes to estate planning, I think I mentioned this before, right? But not everything goes into a trust. Like your car can't go to a trust, or if you have property outside the United States, those cannot go in the trust, right? If you're having a life insurance or any annuities or any bank accounts or anything that have a beneficiary form, just contact the company and complete the beneficiary form, right? And then especially with the bank, when you go and you open a bank account, right? That's my dog Bella. She's doing the drinking water thing. Ignore her. Okay. So when you open up a bank account, banks don't usually share with you that you can complete a beneficiary form. You have to ask them for the beneficiary form, right? I know I filed a case about 3 years ago for probate and we're still waiting. Okay, that's 3 years. Okay, so when you complete your beneficiary forms, whether it's annuities, life insurance, transfer upon death, which is the bank, make sure that you have a contingency beneficiary in case something happened to the one to whom you have distributed your assets, right? Just really, really important. And make sure that you communicate to that beneficiary that they have such roles, because you don't want to have them under beneficiary and they have no idea that they have assets and you pass away and no one goes and claim anything. Okay, so please be mindful of those. It's very, very important. Estate planning is as simple as just listing a beneficiary on your bank account, listing a beneficiary on your annuities, listing a beneficiary on your IRA, your pension plan, right? So think about that, and I hope this helps someone, okay? And I'll talk to you later. Ciao, ciao.